Hey, what's up, everybody? BDO44 coming at you another video. All right. So, of course, everybody's excited about the Lakers getting their last two victories, scoring 122 and 121 points, respectively, on the Memphis Grizzlies. And, of course, the great comeback last night versus the Portland Trail Blazers. So, we're extremely happy, and we're on a big-time high about that. I was just listening to DTLF. He was talking about some of the opportunities the Lakers had, and one of his fans came into the comment section and said something about Lauri Markkanen. Would he give up Lauri Markkanen, get Lauri Markkanen for the 2 picks that we have? And he said he didn't believe that Lauri Markkanen was worth 2 picks. Now, for me, let's get the opinion out the way early. The Lakers should not give up 2 picks for Lauri Markkanen. That's not what I'm here to argue. We only have 2 picks to trade. I'm not willing to just part with him just to bring back one guy. However, Lauri Markkanen, I believe, is probably worth 2 picks right now. The way he's playing this season, his age, and his contract. 3 years, $16 million in total. For that production, that's low. That's really low pay. He should probably be looking for an extension. I would not want to play 3 years at the level that he's playing at that price. I wouldn't. I would want to renegotiate that. Absolutely, but I don't know if that's a possibility or not. Regardless of the case, that is a very good contract if my understanding of what it is correct. Now, if it's $16 million a year, I think he's worth that, but I don't think it looks the same to me as in terms of whether or not I'd pay 2 picks for the contract. I don't think so. But if it splits up like I believe it does, for 3 years, heck yeah, he's worth that. He's worth those 2 picks. In fact, he's probably worth 3 or 2 and some change, that kind of thing. Because you look at the all-star level he's playing at, you see how he's an elite shooter in this era. You look at him as a power forward who's plays in defense now. You can see that he puts the ball on the floor. He doesn't really have too many holes, and I think his ascension is imminent. I don't think this is the end of what we're seeing from Lauri Markkanen. I think it's the beginning. You look at the intangibles. You look at his athleticism, which he's showing that he has. It's just more in his bag than what Chicago was able to show us. And when Cleveland put him at the 3, it opened my eyes to understand that Chicago just didn't know what the hell they were doing with that dude at all. And now that he's in Utah and Danny Ainge and those guys and the new coach that they got down there is getting the most out of him, I'm not certain he's not going to turn into something very special very soon. If not, has he not already? I mean, he's an all-star if you ask me. So the Lakers should not necessarily look to trade their 2 picks for 1 player. I don't think so. I know we've been talking about Kyrie Irving. They said they put 2 on the table for Kyrie Irving. Obviously, I'm willing to do that for Kyrie because I'm just a big fan of Kyrie and I want him paired with LeBron James. But the truth of the matter is, I'm not certain Lauri Markkanen's not actually a better value for your 2 picks if you're going to trade for 1 player based on that contract and his age. I'm not saying he's better than Kyrie Irving. I ain't saying no stupid crap like that. What I'm telling you is, based on what your cap situation may be, if you're a team trying to squeeze in a lot of talent into a little cap situation, that's one of the best contracts out there. Lauri Markkanen playing at this level, that's one of the best contracts out there. So, like I said, if I'm him and I'm in his representation, I need that restructured. We can't have me in no $5 million a year with me playing like this. No. We got to get me in the 100 range early. So that's what I think Lauri Markkanen is actually worth. Probably close to 20 mil a year, maybe more than that if he keeps this up for another season or 2. So that next contract, you best believe you're going to pay him in 3 years. You best believe that. But for the time being, that's one of the best contracts to have. And I don't think Utah should be looking to move on from it at all. I do not think that. I think they got a keeper there, whether they're trying to rebuild or keep retooling or whatever. You don't let your all-star walk out the door when you got him for a fraction of the cost. And that's just the end of the story. So I know they value picks over there in Utah, but I would not be moving on from Lauri Markkanen at all if I'm the Utah Jazz. We're moving on from everybody else but him, basically. And Vanderbilt. I'm keeping those 2 in place. And we'll see what else goes on. They got some rookies back there on Utah's team that I like, but Conley and some of those guys, Beasley, they can afford to move on from some of those players and be okay if they want to. But Markkanen, I do not believe should be moved on from at all. Danny Ainge, don't overthink this. I know you like hoarding picks, but you don't overthink that. Absolutely not. You keep that dude. So that's just my opinion on the situation. Like I said, for the Lakers, that's a fantastic contract, but I just don't think for us giving up 2 picks for anything less than what it is we had planned is the move. However, that contract is not to be toyed with. So if we can get our hands on that contract, bring him to this team, it does go a long way in us being a better squad. Because the reality is that the problem that we have is Russell eating up $46 million and being one person. So if you can find an opposite contract that makes sense to where you're getting so much out of one person like you're getting with TB right now, that's the type of value you need when you're in that situation. I look at Miami, I say I don't know what they're doing because they got Kyle Lowry and Duncan Robinson on outstanding contracts that they should be trying to part ways from. And not enough of those little contracts to make up for the better difference, in my opinion. So these are the type of things I'm just looking at as I scan the league, and I say, teams should be looking to try to acquire Markkanen if he does become available. A team like Miami should be definitely looking to make a move like that or something of that nature, and it shouldn't be withholding of picks keeping them from making a move like that to get a player of that contract on that level. The New York Knicks, same thing. If Lauri Markkanen's going for 2 picks, you got 7 of them. That should be something you should be trying to bid for. Someone you should be trying to bid for. In my opinion, although you got Julius Randle and a bunch of other guys, you can move some of them dudes and just have his value on tab and be even better for it. I never let the position that I have being overfilled keep me from bringing in a player that's better at that position, because I can very easily move on from them dudes and keep the one that's better, the new one. So that's how I look at that situation. It's the same way I look at the Lakers guard situation. Although we love when we see them from our guys like Dennis Schroeder and Patrick Beverley's played better and all that. But the idea before yesterday's game and the overall understanding is that we can move on from some of the guards, revamp our guard situation, and feel pretty confident going forward, or if not more confident. Bringing in a guy like Kyrie Irving ain't going to deter me because we have a bunch of guards. No, someone else is moving. He ain't the one that's moving. So that's kind of how that goes in my mind. For the Knicks, if they were to acquire Markkanen, we would just move on for somebody else, not Markkanen. So these are just things I'm thinking about. A team like Minnesota, they don't have a whole lot to trade, but they did a big trade with the Utah Jazz. Maybe Utah would be willing to make another deal with them. Obviously, they don't have any pick equity or much, but I look at the fit, and I say that would be a place I'd want Markkanen to be, playing the 3 for a low price. That way you can offset that Gobert contract, have Karl Towns, and then, like I said, that's a big, lineup next to Anthony Edwards that can shoot the ball all over the place. They probably win the championship if they got Lauri Markkanen. Now, how they would acquire him, they wouldn't. But I'm just saying, that's the type of piece you would want if you're them, to make up for that awful Rudy contract that you're not going to be able to get rid of. So these are the type of things that I'm just paying attention to, and as the Lakers are finding themselves in a 2-game winning streak, I feel like we found some leverage, trade leverage. That's what I think we found. I don't know how much, but if we can continue to stay on the trajectory of winning more than we're losing all the way up into the trade deadline, we're going to feel a lot better about what we can do, or what it is that we won't have to overpay for. So that's important. The Lakers got to continue to keep good players on the floor, continue to lean on Thomas, obviously be smart about everything, and that's what I'm looking at. I think the Lakers are in a very, very better position than they were just a week or 2 ago. With Thomas Bryant playing this high, I would not rule out the Lakers trading Thomas Bryant. I wouldn't rule it out. For the same reason we're talking about Lauri Markkanen, he's a much better value in and of itself, because he's, for the next half of the season, could play at that level for $1 million. So for us, I wouldn't want to get rid of him, but for the value he is, you could probably get something better back for him. Probably could. So I don't know what that would be. Obviously, we're happy with Thomas Bryant. We want to keep him. But you just look for anything that can pop on your team in value and try to see if you can work it in trade if you have very little, like we have. So that's what it is. You wish you did trade him if he goes down with a knee injury. You wish you did trade him if he goes away in free agency, that kind of thing. Lonnie Walker, same thing. Unfortunately, we're in that space where we want to keep Lonnie, but we've also seen ourselves have a great deal of success while he's been gone. So that takes away from what it is that we think we need in regards to him. Now, I wouldn't caution everybody to say that Lonnie's probably not the guard you remove, given that he was playing so well to start the season. But our coach put him in 3-guard lineups a lot of times and made him look bad defensively, which I think kind of hurt him a little bit in terms of the eyes of how much people value him here a little bit, but not myself necessarily at all. So, I'm of the mindset we need to keep these guys. I would rather, in some way in world, I almost would rather us focus on keeping some of the guys that we have more so than making a trade to bring in other guys, depending on who it is we're getting and what. Like a Bogdanovich trade, for example, I'm more excited about the guys I have. I don't want to pay Bogdanovich what he's going to be costing next season. He's going to want $17-20 million. I don't pay that, you know. And so for me, it's like I'd rather play TB whatever he's going to be. I'd rather keep the guy we have that's proven in our situation a little younger, et cetera, et cetera. You know, Austin Reeves, I want to make sure Austin has his money secured. We know we are a better team with him down there, and he's ascending into something better than he is today. You know, so these are the type of things the Lakers need to be considering as well. It's like, yeah, we do need to get better, but if you're going to trade away some pieces, it's going to bring us back pieces. It's going to make it so that we have a difficult time signing these guys. Maybe we need to consider how much we value who we're bringing in versus who we already have, and don't allow ourselves to stumble into a situation where we end up messing up. You know, because we've done enough of that, I think. So that's something that's on my mind. So Dennis Schroeder played so well. You know, I know the Lakers are excited about having him in the second half of the season, but he's definitely somebody we need to be shopping. We do, just for the sake of what it is we're talking about. He's on a $1 million contract or something short of that nature. He's going to be looking to be re-signed. Maybe we re-sign him, right? Maybe that's something we do. I'm not against that at all, given how he's been playing. But you also understand that anything of value on your team that you may not re-sign should be shopped. Should be shopped. Kendrick Nunn, we like how he's played lately. His value's up. You know, these are things that you think about. Because at the end of the day, what you don't get married to is guys playing well and think that's just going to sustain forever and ever and ever and ever. Don't. It never does. You're going to go through ebbs and flows. So when you have guys that you've been waiting on to get to a certain value and they reach that value, don't fall in love with them then. This is when you shop them and move on. We learned this lesson with AD, even though nobody was actually shopping him. At the level he was playing, 50, 60 points, whatever he was throwing up, if we would have traded him then, we could have got everything in the world for him. I'm not sure you're going to get that price for him if you wait. If you know what I mean? If you decide not to trade him right now, you definitely are putting yourself in a position to see him get hurt again or not ever get back to that level or possibly get to that level and then you fall in love with him again. It's just so much. It's like, this is why you just make your decision when a player is struggling that you're going to move on from them. And then when they get to that place where they're not struggling anymore, that's when you pull the trigger. You do that. You know, you don't get caught up in the moment. You see that as your opportunity to sell high, and you fall in love with the price tag that's coming back. That's what you do. So for me, I'm about there with AD because I've watched him in street clothes one too many times this season for our team to be struggling with stuff that he's good at all year long. And I'm just at a point where I'm like, nah, I don't need to go this path down with him if he's eating up a third of the cap and ain't never there. I don't need that. And we try to keep LeBron going. He's busting his backside every day. I don't think that that's the best way for us to win a championship anymore. I just don't. Because my fear is we're going to get all the way to a big game and he ain't going to be there. And we're going to be playing with this lineup in a big game in the playoffs because of some random injury that's just inevitable. I'm just cool, man. I'm cool. We won the championship in the bubble, and a lot had to do with the bubble, meaning no traveling, no planes, a lot of stuff. I don't know. I ain't seen enough from Anthony Davis to know that he can actually do that and be that when we need him to in a regular season, in an actual NBA season, not a bubble where everybody's in one spot staying still. So this is something that I'm not comfortable with this. I like AD a lot. I don't want people to think I don't like AD's game. I think he's fantastic. He's probably a top 5 player. Clearly, he's shown us that even this season. But if you're at that level and you can't play more than 40 games, then you're not actually at that level. You're not. Because you can't display it, well enough to actually help the team. You can't do it enough to make the team better than half of what it is they are right now, which is a 500 ball club, under 500 ball club trying to fight their way through the playoffs. And we got Anthony Davis and LeBron James rostered. No, that doesn't make any sense. No other team in the league has a situation like that right now. None. Look at all the team's cores all over the league. The only guy I can argue that ain't around is probably like Chris Middleton. And he's like the 3rd star. Nobody else got that problem with their core, man. So Anthony needs to understand that. He needs to understand it in regards to us, man. It's not like we're asking him to do anything unreasonable, bro. You just have to be available. And if you're not available, we can't look to blame nobody. We just got to do what we got to do. At the end of the day, that's what it comes down to. So, number 3 is a fantastic player for the Lakers, man. I'd love to see his number waved in the rafters. I think he probably already earned that to some degree. But if I can't have him on the floor, if he ain't going to be able to play in the playoffs, if he ain't going to be there in the finals, if he ain't going to be there to help us clinch this play-in game. If imagine he misses a play-in game if we find ourselves in a play-in tournament. These are things that I'm not going to allow myself to walk into the environment for that to be even the case. If I'm owner of the Lakers, ain't gonna be no environment where that's possible. We're gonna move on from him before they even get to that point. So it is what it is, man. I talk about it all the time because I live understanding that as good as the Lakers are playing, you're not going nowhere if he ain't out there. I don't care how many games you win regular season, Portland, Memphis, all that. You ain't beating nobody in a 7-game series unless they have to deal with him or the equivalent of him, for which you don't have if he's not on the floor. So that's the end of that. Is it. That's all. You're going to run into a Jason Tatum and you're going to get slaughtered. You're going to run into a Memphis in a 7-game series and they're going to get you. Denver, all that. You need him. So because we need him and don't have him, I move on from him. That's what I do. And I get back everything I can to assure that it's not just one person I'm relying upon when everything is as it is. Absolutely not. So I'm a strong advocate for trading Anthony Davis at this point. I know he's getting ready to come back. I'm hoping he comes back and plays great. That ain't going to change my opinion, bro. It ain't. Because if he plays great for 30 games, I'm still sitting here waiting for that ankle. I'm still sitting here waiting for the knee. I'm still sitting here wondering if he's actually going to be there for the one that matters. The game that actually matters. And so that's what it is, man. He did it in the bubble. But this is not the bubble. And that's the point. So, yeah, it is what it is, man. It is what it is. I know Jeannie's going to do what she thinks makes a lot of sense. Patience is as paid off. Waiting and seeing how it goes has paid off. But we also find ourselves, once again, a 500 ball club. So how much pain did it do? We're all having fun right now. But you don't come to me for fun. You come to me to win. You come to me to help you get a championship or at least lead you in a path where we're thinking about things other than just what looks good right now, because that's not what's going to help us. That's not the type of detail that's going to make us excellent. We got to focus on what's wrong, why everybody else is smiling, and none of that. No, we're Lakers, man, working on our weaknesses at all times. That's how we get better than everybody else. While they're giddying and talking and sliding or whatever they're going to do, we're thinking about how we can get better so we can beat them after we beat them. You feel me? That's how it has to be. This is how you beat Memphis, how you beat teams better than you. You stay more focused than them. So that's why I say, man, we got to continue to take care of the things we can control. Free throw shooting, rebounding, keeping size on the floor, all that good stuff. And most importantly, calling up players that can help us. I hate to sound like a broken record, but it is a very important point. We got to use our G League talent. Look at Memphis and all the players they got on their bench. Look at Sacramento and all the players they got on their bench. We don't use as many players, and it does equal to us not being as durable as a team. Our core is fragile as hell. Don't you think we should be in rotation with like 30 players just like the Kings? Common damn sense to me. So these are the things I want the Lakers to continue to think about, man. Damian Jones has no business on this roster anymore. It's time to stop being nice. That boy ain't played in about 10 games. He shouldn't be here. That should be Scottie Pippen. That should be somebody else. I don't care who else, but someone that the coach is willing to play. Dead weight on the back of the roster when you have the problems we have is unacceptable, and that needs to be understood. So all of that, man, all of that, we're going to win. I'm determined to help us win. I know you guys who follow me know that I'm very passionate about the team. But, when we get a victory like that, we do want to celebrate and enjoy it. But regular season wins don't mean squat, man. All they are is a prelude to you being ready for the big games. And if you're not taking care of what you need to take care of in the regular season to prepare you for the big games, you're going to be leaving early. That's it. And for me personally, I'm going to tell y'all the truth, man. I want Russell Westbrook to experience actual winning, man. I want Russell Westbrook to experience actual winning. I don't want him teaching his sons that it's okay win, lose, or draw if they decide to play the game. No, it ain't. It's not okay win, lose, or draw. You want to win, win, and win. Because that's all you really play for. Not to have fun. Fun is when you beat the other guys. You know what I mean? Coping with losing coerces you into thinking that it's okay not to work on things that coerce you into losing. Not getting better. Not focusing on your weaknesses and stuff like that. So if winning doesn't motivate that, then getting better and not looking foolish should. And winning, doing things correct should lead to winning. So that's what it is. It's like him talking about having fun. All that equates to me is him being okay with not working on the things that it takes to be a winner. The things inside of him that make it so that he's comfortable with losing, those things need to be extracted. from his mindset, from his way of doing things, so he could be a winner and actually compete in a way that people can say Russell Westbrook is a winner. You know what I mean? And that's what I want to see him do. I see how careful he's trying to be, even though he's not naturally the best player in regards to certain things. I see how intentional he is on passing up certain shots at certain times. I see how intentional he is on not turning the ball over, especially in the second halves when he's turned the ball over. This man wants to be better. He wants to be a winner, but he don't know how to win. He don't know how to. You know what I mean? And somebody taught him it was okay to cope with losing instead of fighting to win. And that, my friends, with all the energy that he has, all the energy he possesses, that was just misguidance. That was misguidance. For all the energy he has and exerts on that floor, he should be a winner 7-8 times over. Because ain't nobody can guard him. There's never anybody who could guard him. It was his choices, his decision making, and ultimately his floormanship that just made him impossible to win with. And he needed to be explained clearly and concisely that he can win if he continues to work on these things. He can win if he fights himself in a way that allows him not to give himself any excuses for not winning. And that's what being in purple and gold is all about. Everywhere else, fine with losing, because you have to lose. It's not your birthright to win. But as I tell you, when we put on this uniform, no, that's not how it works. George Mikan was winning championships. Everybody got to win in this uniform, including Russell Westbrook. So we ain't about to have no kind of fun until we see him hoisting a trophy, as far as I can tell, especially if he's not going to be traded, which it looks like he probably won't. I am hoping that he finds some way to win something real in this NBA. Not just so he can experience, but so that he can get that thought out of his head that there's anything less than winning that you can enjoy actually doing. Losing is supposed to be unsufferable. You're not supposed to be able to enjoy losing. Not at all. Not if you're a competitor, not at that level. No. The money and all these different things, the stats has taken away the true essence of what it is you're doing. And when they start comparing you to other people that couldn't guard you, and they say them dudes is better than you, that's when you understand what it is you've been dealing with the whole time. That's when you understand it's empty, man. When Michael Jordan is looking at his what do they call that thing, the iPad, and he's laughing at Gary Payton for saying he so-and-so, whatever Gary said, that's because Michael knows he was better. It ain't know nothing. And he knows everybody else know it too. Michael wasn't having fun losing. Michael didn't give himself no excuses. You think he was telling everybody win, lose, or draw? He was sucking people in their jaw. I don't know win, lose, or draw. BDL 44. I thank you all for watching.